11 black actors who were shockingly stupid. Hollywood has always been a place where dreams are built and sometimes broken. One moment an actor is standing under bright lights, admired by millions. The next moment, a single decision, a controversial headline, or a personal struggle can change everything. Fame is powerful, but it can also be fragile. In today's story, we're exploring the lives of black actors who once stood at the peak of success, only to face moments that shocked fans and altered their careers in ways no one expected. Some of these stories are tragic, others controversial, and a few may make you question how unforgiving the entertainment industry can truly be. Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe to Black Excellence Legends and let us know in the comments, do you believe Hollywood gives second chances? Isaiah Washington. In the early 2000s, Isaiah Washington seemed to have everything an actor could hope for. He had talent, experience, and most importantly, a role that millions of viewers watched every single week. When Grey's Anatomy premiered on ABC in 2005, it quickly became one of the most successful television dramas in the United States. Washington played the brilliant and confident cardiothoracic surgeon, Dr. Preston Burke, a character known for his intelligence, discipline, and emotional depth. Audiences admired him, critics praised his performance, and his career appeared to be entering its most successful chapter. But sometimes, success can be fragile. In 2006, during a heated argument on the set of Grey's Anatomy, Washington reportedly used a homophobic slur in reference to his co-star, T.R. Knight. At first, the incident was handled privately behind the scenes. However, the situation escalated dramatically in January 2007 during the Golden Globe Awards press room. While responding to questions, Washington repeated the controversial word while denying that he had ever used it before. Cameras captured the moment, and within hours, the clip spread across television and the internet. The backlash was immediate. ABC, the network behind Grey's Anatomy, faced enormous public pressure to respond. Washington issued several public apologies and entered counseling, but the damage had already been done. In June 2007, ABC officially announced that Isaiah Washington would not return for the fourth season of the show. For a series that was watched by more than 20 million viewers per episode at its peak, losing that platform marked a major turning point in his career. After leaving Grey's Anatomy, Washington continued acting, though never again with the same level of mainstream exposure. Years later, he found a new audience playing Thelonious Jaha in the science fiction series The 100 from 2014 to 2018. The role demonstrated that his acting ability had never disappeared, even if the spotlight had dimmed. Isaiah Washington's story reminds us how quickly one moment can reshape a lifetime of work. Hollywood can offer incredible opportunities, but it can also hold people accountable for their words and actions. At the same time, his later performances show that personal growth and redemption remain possible. In life, mistakes can echo loudly, especially under the bright lights of fame, but they can also become powerful reminders of the importance of respect, reflection, and the responsibility that comes with influence. Orlando Brown. For many viewers who grew up in the early 2000s, Orlando Brown was one of the most recognizable young faces on television. As the energetic and comedic Eddie Thomas on Disney Channel's That's So Raven, Brown helped create one of the network's most successful sitcoms. The show ran from 2003 to 2007 and regularly attracted millions of viewers, becoming one of Disney Channel's highest-rated series of that era. Brown's quick humor and expressive acting made him a fan favorite, and it seemed like he was on a clear path toward a long and successful career in Hollywood. But the transition from child star to adult actor can be incredibly difficult. As the years passed, Brown's life became increasingly troubled. Starting in the mid-2000s, he faced a series of legal issues that attracted widespread media attention. Reports of arrests related to domestic disputes, drug possession, and other charges began appearing in headlines. At the same time, fans noticed that his behavior in interviews and on social media had become unpredictable and concerning. Some of Brown's public statements were so unusual that they quickly went viral online, leaving many people unsure whether they were watching a joke or witnessing someone truly struggling. Former colleagues from That's So Raven, including Raven-Symoné, expressed concern about his well-being. For audiences who remembered the cheerful character Eddie, the situation felt deeply troubling. Brown himself has spoken openly about battling addiction and personal challenges. Over the years, he has entered rehabilitation programs and has said in interviews that he wants to rebuild his life and career. While his appearances in mainstream television have been limited in recent years, he has continued to pursue music and independent projects. Stories like Orlando Brown's remind us how fragile early fame can be. A child actor may gain success before they are emotionally prepared for the pressures that follow. Without the right support system, that pressure can become overwhelming. Yet even difficult stories carry a lesson. Behind the headlines is a human being facing struggles that many people silently endure. Orlando Brown's journey is a reminder that compassion and second chances matter, and that recovery, though difficult, is always possible. Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard's career is one of the most fascinating and complicated in modern Hollywood. Born in Chicago and raised in Cleveland, Howard began acting in the early 1990s and steadily built a reputation as a powerful, dramatic performer. His breakthrough arrived in 2005 with the film Hustle and Flow, where he played Memphis rapper DJ. The role earned Howard an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, instantly placing him among the most respected performers of his generation. In the years that followed, Howard appeared in major films such as Crash, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and he later joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe as James "Rhodey" Rhodes in Iron Man 2008. At that moment, Howard seemed positioned to become a central figure in one of the most successful film franchises in history. But Hollywood careers often hinge on complex negotiations and professional relationships. After the first Iron Man, Marvel Studios reduced Howard's proposed salary for the sequel. Negotiations broke down, and he was ultimately replaced by actor Don Cheadle, who has played War Machine in every subsequent Marvel film. Losing a role in what became a multi-billion-dollar franchise marked a significant turning point. Howard later rebuilt some of his momentum with the hit television series Empire, which aired from 2015 to 2020 and drew over 15 million viewers during its early seasons. His portrayal of music mogul Lucius Lyon earned him critical praise and several award nominations. Outside of acting, however, Howard has sometimes attracted attention for unusual public statements, including unconventional theories about mathematics that he calls terrology. These ideas have generated curiosity and debate online, though they are not accepted by mainstream scientific communities. Despite the controversies and career shifts, Howard's acting ability has rarely been questioned. Few performers can deliver emotional intensity the way he does on screen. His journey shows that talent alone does not guarantee a smooth career path in the entertainment industry. At the end of the day, Terrence Howard's story reminds us that success is rarely a straight line. Even gifted individuals face setbacks, disagreements, and moments of misunderstanding. Yet resilience, the ability to continue creating despite obstacles, is often what defines a lasting legacy. Stacy Dash. In the mid-1990s, Stacy Dash seemed destined for a long and celebrated career in Hollywood. With her striking presence and natural screen charisma, she became widely recognized for her role as Dion Davenport in the 1995 cult classic Clueless. The film was a massive cultural success, and Dash's performance helped turn the character into a pop culture icon. When the movie was adapted into a television series, she continued the role, solidifying her place as one of the memorable actresses of that decade. At the time, everything pointed towards steady success. However, careers in Hollywood are often shaped not only by talent, but also by public perception. Years after her acting peak, Dash became more involved in political commentary, which significantly changed how audiences viewed her. She joined Fox News in 2014 as a contributor, where her outspoken views began generating controversy. While actors and public figures are certainly free to express their opinions, the tone and content of several of Dash's statements sparked strong reactions. Among the most widely criticized comments were her suggestions that institutions like Black History Month or organizations such as BET were unnecessary. These remarks offended many fans who had once admired her work. Social media backlash followed, and the controversy began overshadowing her acting achievements. As the debates intensified, Hollywood studios, often cautious about public controversy, became less interested in casting her in new projects. Dash later attempted to pivot into politics, announcing a congressional campaign in California in 2018, though she withdrew from the race before the primary election. In 2021, she publicly apologized for some of her earlier rhetoric, acknowledging that anger and frustration had influenced her behavior during that period. Stacy Dash's story illustrates how quickly a public image can transform. Fame can amplify every statement, every opinion, and every misstep. For audiences who once saw her as the confident and stylish Dion from Clueless, the shift was surprising. Yet her journey also carries an important reminder. People grow, perspectives evolve, and self-reflection is possible. In a world that often rushes to judge, stories like Dash's encourage us to remember that personal change and accountability can still lead to new beginnings. Monique's career once stood at the very peak of Hollywood recognition. Known first as a bold and fearless stand-up comedian, she built a reputation for commanding stages with humor that was both raw and relatable. Her early television success included the sitcom The Parkers, 1999 to 2004, where she played the unforgettable Nikki Parker. The show ran for 5 seasons and helped establish Monique as one of the most recognizable comedic actresses on television. But the moment that changed everything came in 2009 with the film Precious. In the movie, Monique portrayed the deeply troubled character Mary Lee Johnston, delivering a performance so powerful that critics across the industry praised it as one of the most unforgettable roles of the decade. The recognition reached its peak when she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 2010. Winning an Oscar usually opens doors. For many actors, it leads to bigger films, major studio deals, and long-term opportunities. Yet Monique's story unfolded differently. Following the success of Precious, tensions began emerging between the actress and several influential figures in Hollywood. Monique publicly explained that she refused to participate in additional unpaid promotional appearances for the film, beyond what her contract required. While her stance highlighted a broader conversation about fair compensation in the industry, it also created friction with powerful producers and executives. Over time, Monique spoke openly about feeling blacklisted in Hollywood, even naming major figures such as Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and director Lee Daniels in interviews. The situation grew more complicated when she later filed a lawsuit against Netflix, arguing that the company had offered her significantly less money for a comedy special than other performers received. Whether one agrees with her approach or not, Monique's story reflects the complicated power dynamics of the entertainment world. Hollywood often operates through relationships, expectations, and unwritten rules about promotion and cooperation. Despite the challenges, Monique never abandoned her craft. She continued performing stand-up comedy and speaking publicly about issues of fairness and respect in the industry. Her story reminds us that standing up for one's principles can sometimes come at a personal cost, but it can also start important conversations about equality and dignity in professional spaces. Ultimately, Monique's legacy is more than a single controversy. It is the story of a performer who rose from comedy clubs to the Oscar stage, proving that powerful storytelling and fearless honesty can leave a lasting impact. Columbus Short. For a brief moment in the early 2000s, Columbus Short looked like one of the rising stars of television drama. A talented dancer, choreographer, and actor, Short had already worked with major artists in the music industry and appeared in films like Stomp the Yard and Cadillac Records. But his biggest breakthrough came in 2012 when he was cast as Harrison Wright on the ABC political drama Scandal. Created by Shonda Rhimes, the series quickly became one of the most talked-about shows on television, drawing millions of viewers each week. As part of the central cast, Short was suddenly in the spotlight, gaining recognition and a growing fan base. At the height of the show's popularity, however, his personal life began to unravel publicly. Reports of domestic disputes and legal trouble started appearing in headlines. In 2014, Short was arrested following allegations involving a physical altercation with his wife. Around the same time, other incidents surfaced, including accusations connected to fights at public venues. These situations created serious concerns for the production team behind Scandal, where reliability and professionalism were essential for maintaining the demanding television schedule. Eventually, the situation reached a breaking point. That same year, Columbus Short was written out of the series, and his character was removed from the storyline. For an actor on one of television's biggest shows, losing such a role was a devastating blow to his career trajectory. In interviews afterward, Short acknowledged that substance abuse and personal struggles had played a major role in the collapse of his professional momentum. In later years, he spoke openly about seeking recovery and rebuilding his life. Though his presence in major Hollywood productions became far less frequent, he continued working in smaller projects and independent films. His journey is a powerful reminder that success in entertainment requires more than talent. It also demands stability, responsibility, and personal discipline. For audiences, Columbus Short's story carries an important message. Fame can arrive quickly, but maintaining it often depends on choices made away from the camera. Even so, stories of struggle can also become stories of redemption. When people confront their mistakes and work toward change, they show that growth is still possible, no matter how public the fall may have been. Aries Spears. Aries Spears built his reputation on sharp wit, fearless humor, and an incredible ability to mimic famous voices. Born in Chicago and raised in New Jersey, Spears discovered stand-up comedy at a young age and quickly developed a reputation for his uncanny celebrity impressions. His career reached a major milestone in 1997 when he joined the cast of the sketch comedy show Mad TV. At just 22 years old, Spears became one of the youngest performers on the series, and his impersonations of figures like Eddie Murphy, Shaquille O'Neal, and Jay-Z helped him become one of the program's standout cast members. For several seasons, Spears appeared regularly on the show, gaining national exposure and building a strong reputation within the comedy world. Many fans believed he had the potential to become one of the biggest comedic voices of his generation. After leaving Mad TV, he continued performing stand-up comedy and touring across the United States, where his energetic stage presence and observational humor kept audiences entertained. However, over time, Spears became known not only for his comedy, but also for his outspoken criticism of other entertainers. In interviews and podcast appearances, he frequently expressed harsh opinions about fellow comedians and performers. While debate and critique are common in comedy, the tone of some of these comments created friction within the entertainment community. Public disagreements with other comedians sometimes overshadowed his own creative work, shifting the conversation away from his performances and toward controversy. In 2022, Spears faced additional scrutiny after being named in a lawsuit connected to an old comedy sketch involving a minor. The case attracted widespread media attention before eventually being dismissed, but the publicity still affected public perception of the comedian. Despite these challenges, Spears remains a talented performer with a loyal audience. His impression skills are widely respected among comedy fans, and his stand-up routines continue to draw crowds. Yet his story demonstrates how quickly public focus can shift in the entertainment industry. Talent may open the door, but reputation often determines how long that door stays open. For viewers reflecting on his journey, Aries Spears represents both the brilliance and the complexity of comedic fame. Success in entertainment requires not only skill, but also the ability to navigate criticism, relationships, and the spotlight that comes with speaking boldly in public. Cat Williams. Few comedians possess the raw stage presence and electrifying delivery of Cat Williams. Born Micah Sierra Williams in Cincinnati, Ohio, he built his reputation in the late 1990s and early 2000s through relentless stand-up performances in comedy clubs across the United States. His breakthrough came with the 2006 comedy special, The Pimp Chronicles Part 1, where his sharp social commentary, fearless storytelling, and distinctive persona instantly made him one of the most recognizable voices in stand-up comedy. Audiences admired his ability to mix humor with insight about society, culture, and everyday struggles. Williams soon expanded into film and television, appearing in movies like Friday After Next, Norbit, and First Sunday. His television appearances, including guest roles in comedy specials, helped solidify his reputation as a performer with a unique rhythm and voice. In 2018, he even won an Emmy Award for his guest performance on the series Atlanta, proving that his acting ability could match his comedic talent. However, alongside the success came a long series of legal and personal challenges. Over the years, Williams has faced numerous arrests involving various allegations, such as assault, disputes, and other incidents that repeatedly placed him in the headlines. Several of these situations involved altercations or conflicts that quickly spread across social media and news outlets, sometimes overshadowing his work on stage. There were also moments when his unpredictable behavior affected scheduled performances. Reports of canceled shows, conflicts during live events, and disputes with promoters created uncertainty for venues considering booking him. In an industry where reliability is essential, such incidents sometimes made organizers hesitant, despite the fact that his shows consistently attracted audiences. Yet despite these obstacles, Cat Williams has repeatedly demonstrated an ability to return to the spotlight. His stand-up tours continue to draw large crowds, and his comedy specials remain widely viewed online. When he steps onto a stage focused and prepared, audiences often witness one of the most powerful comedic performances in modern stand-up. Cat Williams' journey reminds us that talent alone does not guarantee stability, but it can offer opportunities for redemption. His story reflects both the pressures of fame and the resilience of a performer determined to keep his voice heard. Even through controversy, his humor continues to resonate with people who appreciate honesty delivered with fearless intensity. Jussie Smollett. For several years, Jussie Smollett appeared to be one of television's rising stars. As an actor and singer, he became widely known for his role as Jamal Lyon on the hit television drama Empire, which premiered on Fox in 2015. The series quickly became one of the most watched shows in America, drawing more than 15 million viewers per episode during its early seasons. Smollett's portrayal of Jamal, a talented musician navigating fame and family conflict, earned praise for its emotional depth and helped make him a central figure in the show's success. Beyond acting, Smollett also pursued music, releasing songs connected to the Empire soundtrack and later launching his own independent musical projects. His growing popularity suggested a promising future in both television and music. However, everything changed in January 2019 when Smollett reported to Chicago police that he had been the victim of a violent attack motivated by racism and homophobia. The story quickly made international headlines and sparked widespread support from fans, fellow actors, and public figures who expressed concern and solidarity. But the investigation soon took an unexpected turn. Chicago police later alleged that the incident had been staged. According to authorities, Smollett had arranged the encounter with two individuals he knew, leading to accusations that the attack had been fabricated. The case became one of the most heavily discussed celebrity controversies of the decade. In 2021, Smollett was found guilty on several counts of disorderly conduct related to filing a false police report. The case generated intense debate in media and public discourse, with supporters and critics arguing about the evidence and the broader implications of the situation. Regardless of perspective, the controversy had a profound impact on his career. Smollett was written out of the final season of Empire, and many of the opportunities that once seemed inevitable disappeared almost overnight. The story of Jussie Smollett illustrates how quickly public perception can shift in the entertainment industry. A single controversy can overshadow years of work and change the direction of a career. Yet it also serves as a reminder that fame brings immense responsibility. When public figures speak, act, or make claims, the consequences can reach far beyond their personal lives. Cuba Gooding Jr. There was a time when Cuba Gooding Jr. stood at the very peak of Hollywood success. Born in the Bronx, New York, he built his career steadily through the late 1980s and early 1990s, appearing in films such as Boys in the Hood, 1991, where his natural charm and emotional depth caught the attention of audiences and critics alike. But his career reached legendary status in 1996 with the film Jerry Maguire. In that movie, Gooding played the outspoken football player Rod Tidwell, delivering the unforgettable line, "Show me the money!" The performance earned him the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, making him one of the most celebrated actors of that era. After the Oscar win, Gooding seemed unstoppable. He starred in numerous films, including Men of Honor, Pearl Harbor, and Radio. For many years, he remained a familiar face on both the big screen and television, respected for his charisma and energetic performances. Hollywood often rewards actors who bring intensity and authenticity to their roles, and Gooding possessed both qualities. However, in 2019, a series of legal accusations began to overshadow his professional accomplishments. Several women accused him of inappropriate touching at nightclubs and public venues. The allegations led to a criminal investigation in New York. After multiple court appearances and years of legal proceedings, Gooding reached a resolution in 2022, pleading guilty to one count of misdemeanor forcible touching as part of a plea agreement. The case significantly affected his public reputation. Although Gooding continued to work in some film and television projects, the momentum he once enjoyed at the height of his career slowed dramatically. For audiences who remembered the energetic actors shouting triumphantly on the Oscar stage, the contrast between past glory and later controversy felt deeply disappointing. Yet stories like this also remind us that fame brings responsibility. The higher someone rises in public life, the more closely their actions are watched. Hollywood careers can span decades, but trust and respect must be maintained every step of the way. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s legacy will always include his unforgettable performances and that historic Oscar win. At the same time, his story illustrates how quickly a reputation can shift when personal decisions collide with public accountability. It serves as a powerful reminder that talent can open doors, but character often determines how long those doors remain open. Nate Parker. Nate Parker once appeared poised to become one of the most powerful new voices in American filmmaking. Born in Norfolk, Virginia, Parker first gained attention as an actor in films such as The Great Debaters, 2007, where he starred alongside Denzel Washington. His performances demonstrated a quiet intensity and thoughtful presence on screen, qualities that suggested he could eventually transition into directing and producing his own stories. That transition came with remarkable ambition. In 2016, Parker wrote, directed, produced, and starred in the historical drama The Birth of a Nation, a film telling the story of Nat Turner, the enslaved preacher who led a rebellion in 1831. When the film premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, it received a standing ovation and quickly became one of the most talked-about projects of the year. Fox Searchlight purchased the distribution rights for a reported $17.5 million, one of the largest deals in Sundance history at the time. Many critics believed Parker was on the verge of becoming a major new director in Hollywood. However, as the film approached its theatrical release, a past legal case from Parker's college years resurfaced in the media. The case involved a 1999 sexual assault allegation when Parker was a student at Penn State University. Parker had been tried and acquitted by a jury in 2001, while a co-defendant was convicted. Although the legal case had been resolved years earlier, renewed public attention brought intense scrutiny to Parker's history and personal conduct. The controversy dramatically shifted the conversation surrounding The Birth of a Nation. Instead of focusing on the film's historical themes or Parker's filmmaking, media coverage centered on the resurfaced allegations. The movie, once predicted to be a major awards contender, struggled at the box office and failed to achieve the impact many had expected. For Parker, the situation represented a painful collision between artistic ambition and unresolved public controversy. In the years that followed, he continued working in film and eventually returned to directing with projects such as American Skin, 2019. While his career did not disappear entirely, the moment that once promised immediate Hollywood stardom was undeniably altered. Nate Parker's story illustrates how public narratives can change quickly, especially in an era when past events can re-emerge decades later. It also highlights the complicated relationship between art, accountability, and the expectations placed on public figures. In the world of storytelling, talent may open the door, but trust and public perception often shape how long that opportunity lasts. Looking back at these stories, it becomes clear that fame is never just about talent. Success can take years to build, but sometimes only moments to lose. Each of these actors experienced the bright side of Hollywood, the applause, the recognition, the opportunities, but they also face the harsh reality that every action in the spotlight carries consequences. Still, behind every headline is a human being with flaws, lessons, and the ability to grow. Perhaps the real question isn't whether these actors made mistakes, but whether society allows room for redemption after those mistakes happen. What do you think? Were these careers ruined by personal choices, or does Hollywood simply move on too quickly? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to Black Excellence Legends for more powerful stories about fame, legacy, and the complicated road to success.